Thank you for joining us here on Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theatre. This is Lisa Canny, and on the phone with me today is Lisa Canny. Lisa is the lead singer and one of the musicians from Celtic Crossroads, coming to the Hanover Theatre Saturday, March 30th at 7 p.m. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Lisa.
You know, it's interesting. We were just talking a little bit before we started, and you said you've been with Celtic Crossroads for 5 to 6 years. What's that been like?
Oh, amazing.
Tell us all about it.
I mean, this will be probably my 8th tour or so out in the States with Celtic Crossroads. So it's a pretty big part of my life and of each of our lives now at this stage. I would have started with them when I was still in college. I did a degree in University Limerick in Irish music and dance. And Celtic Crossroads originally started off as a street performance group. So they'll go out on the street of Galway in the west coast of Ireland during the summer months, kind of as a mid-year college year project, you know, and throw out the instrument cases and hope that someone would throw in a bit of money. And so it really genuinely started as, you know, friends spending time together making a bit of music, and it just went from strength to strength. An American man who was, you know, walking the streets and came across us, suggested, you should come to the States, there's this huge market for you, and that was really the beginning of it. So I think our first international tour would have been in 2008, once we came over, and we really got right into the thick of it straight away, doing theatres, and the audience have been absolutely incredible. Every single year we come back, we've got great responses.
Well, we love having you at the Hanover Theatre. You've been at the Hanover Theatre multiple times as well.
We have, yeah. We go back to the places we really like. They have a good atmosphere.
Well, and we have something in common, because you started in 2008 and we had our grand opening in 2008. In fact, I think you were part of our grand opening season.
That's right.
I know.
That's
and
right.
We're about to celebrate 5 years together.
Oh, look at, there you go. Well, we'll have to have big celebrations, though.
Well, that's the nice thing about your show, is it is one big celebration, isn't it?
It really is, yes. It really is. Very, very energetic, very colourful, full of life.
Well, and it's interesting because you said you really got your start as street performers in Galway. I actually have been to Galway with my family, and I have to tell you, it is such a vibrant place. It's very artsy, creative, lots of great music. And you know what really amazed me is that in Galway, and Galway by American standards seems more like Worcester size, maybe a little bit larger, right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
But it is one of the most major cities in Ireland. And what's truly phenomenal is that you can go and see literally the best step dancer, the best singer, the best of any category you want to think of right there in Galway, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely, yeah.
I can see what this American touring Galway thought when he must have come across you guys on the street, and he's like, oh my gosh, this would sell so well in the United States. And it's true. We have Irish fever.
Yes, absolutely. Well, when you consider how many Irish Americans there are, even in comparison to how many people live in Ireland, you know, it's huge. I think there's 40-something million Irish Americans.
Well, and during the month of March,
Irish.
Well, and during the month of March, everybody's Irish.
That's true. Yeah. At least the week coming up to it after Paddy's Day, that's right. Well, that's the whole world, I think, really, at this stage.
I know, right? So you have a pretty impressive resume, too. You've won a lot of awards. You've got a beautiful education. You were talking about that a little bit. How has that really helped you?
Well, I've always wanted to, pursue a musical career, but was always very torn between going down the academic route and the performance route. So I was so lucky in getting, the first time I went out with Celtic Crossroads was actually my co-op year in my degree. So it worked out just perfectly, a strike of luck for me, that I could go out with them for the year and it still counts towards my degree. And then because I was doing music as well as my degree, they made allowances for me to go away for a week or two, because it was all connected and it was all beneficial to what I was doing. And then I made the tough decision to leave Celtic Crossroads for a year after my degree to go and do my master's. And I did a master's in ethnomusicology in Cork. And it was tough to leave the road and, that lifestyle and go back. But I'm so glad I have it now, because I can go back out on the road now and have that under my belt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, yeah. And it all connects as well. It's two completely different worlds, but everything like this, like every tour you do at Celtic Crossroads, I always say the music is such a small part of the tour. The music is just 2 or 3 hours a day. The whole experience, living on a bus with 12 people, getting on, even if you clash sometimes, it's like a family. You just do it. You just get on. You have to be supportive of each other and be conscious of people's sensitivities or different things like that. So it is one of the biggest learning curves you could ever do. It's like you mature tenfold what you would in a year in college after a tour, because you've all these things thrown at you that you're not choosing, and it just makes you find out so much about yourself first of all.
I'm sure.
But then also it opens your mind to things you mightn't necessarily put yourself in, or people that you wouldn't necessarily be hanging out with and stuff. So it made me mature, I know, much quicker than I was. I think the same thing with college then, with my master's, and there are all these kind of learning curves, not necessarily the content, of what you're actually studying, but about yourself and about what you want in life and your purpose and how you can be at your best, how you can be most productive with your days and all that kind of thing.
Oh, I love it. So tell me, what are some of the things you found out about yourself that you're talking about out on the road?
Oh, God. I suppose I realized quite quickly that I knew it all along, but I'm quite a people person. A lot of people on the tour would like to have their own time. I suppose a lot of people struggled with living with a lot of people. And not having your own space. I mean, once you get on that bus, you say goodbye to personal space for 3 months,
It's like the moving cube.
Yes, exactly. You leave it at the airport or else you're going to struggle,
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the biggest things, I suppose, to learn, that you take it for granted at home. You take your personal space for granted at home. And when you come out here, you go, oh, okay. I need to learn how to live harmoniously without my own space, But I think another thing you learn the older or the more tours you did is to take your time. When you have your time off, take it and take it to yourself if need be, or go out and about and kind of detach yourself from the show. Detach yourself from Celtic Crossroads and enjoy being on tour as well as traveling, think that if you think of it in a way that we are getting to travel worlds, play music, still making an income, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. But sometimes you kind of get stuck in, I won't say a rush, but you kind of get stuck in this place where you forget that you have this amazing opportunity under your feet, So I think that the older you get and the more tours you do, you start appreciating that a little bit more.
It sounds like you're appreciating living the dream.
Exactly. And people say that sometimes. You go, yeah, I am. God, I am. You kind of forget. But it's great when you do start appreciating it a little bit more and realizing it, because you do make the most of it. So that's something I definitely learned.
You've got to be a very multi-talented person, as I'm sure the other 12 people on that bus are, because
everybody is.
Because you're a lead vocalist, and you play the banjo, and you play the harp. Now let's talk about the banjo and the harp for a second, because visually, I can just picture two completely different people playing those two instruments. But it's you. So how do you make that transition? And they probably have more in common than we might think, right?
Well,
no.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because when I was leaving the tour and everything, and we were trying to kind of find a replacement that played banjo and harp. There wasn't one. It is definitely a weird combination. to have as your instruments. But it's quite easily explained. When I was 4 years old in school, it's part of the Irish curriculum in primary school education to learn the tin whistle. You know the tin whistle?
Of course.
Yeah. So every day at 10:45, 11, we would take out the tin whistles for 15 minutes and learn the fundamentals, learn the basics, and actually you do it throughout school, you know. So the principal in my school would come in and listen to us now and again, you know, very nerve-wracking, listen to us playing Twinkle Twinkle. But he thought I was good. He thought I had a good ear, and I had picked it up very quickly. And he had a little banjo in his home house and brought it in for me, and suggested I get some lessons. So I did, and eventually bought my own banjo. And then he continued that on with the next child and the next child and the next child. And it's thanks to him that he has created this wealth of young musicians in the area that may never have, you know, tapped into that ability, you know. So that's how the banjo started. And then I was very lucky to be living, unknown at the time, of course, beside one of the best teachers in Irish traditional music in the country.
Wow.
I mean, she's still known as it. So she lived about 10 minutes away from me. So went to her for banjo lessons from about 6 onwards. And then my mother was from my mother is originally from County Limerick, and we live in County Mayo, where my father's from. But every weekend, Mum, Dad, and myself would go down to Limerick to my to Mum's family, you know. And we'd spend a day there, whatever. But there was this is the most ridiculous reasoning behind playing an instrument, but it's true. There was a roundabout. You don't have them here, actually.
Oh, they're rotaries here.
Okay. That one.
They're very nerve-wracking in Ireland, I have to tell everybody, but they're rotaries here. Yeah.
Right, okay. So there's a rotary going into Limerick City, where my mother's family are, with a flower arrangement in the middle of it in the shape of a harp.
Oh, how inspirational.
Yeah, I know. And supposedly, anyway, I used to keep going, what's that instrument? And, you know, they'd tell me a harp. So then I keep saying, I want to play that instrument. So Santa brought me a harp when I was 10 years old.
Wow. That is a huge instrument. How much does a harp weigh?
The Irish harps are quite different beasts to the classical harp. They're much lighter.
Okay.
In fact, my banjo is probably a little bit heavier than my harp.
No.
It'll give you an idea. Yeah, they're quite light. They're made to be able to transport easily. I suppose it's like probably about 2 stone. What is that? 30 pounds maybe.
Okay, so that's manageable.
Yeah, very manageable. Very manageable.
Are they the same size as what we envision as a more classical harp?
No.
So what's the size difference?
It would be about 4-5 feet tall, maybe.
That's still significant. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, but they're made so that they're very light, very easy to tour with and travel around with. Much different to the classical. Also, we use levers rather than pedals. Mm-hmm. So that's how I change the tone of my string up or down, a semitone, is with levers at the top. So
right.
Yes. So that's why we wouldn't see the feet going in an Irish harpist at all. So no, much easier travel with. Much easier.
And I imagine more people can then play it.
Well, this is it. More people can play it. More people can afford it, even though it's still quite expensive. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the harp is really coming back in Ireland. I'm sure, as you know, it was one time the instrument. It was huge, you know,
right.
And then it went through a serious decline. But despite what a lot of people think, it's actually it's in a revival, as you know, as we speak. Really, in Ireland, it will be in history as a revival time. I think there's just huge numbers of kids playing it. I mean, I myself, over the years, I have 60 plus students.
Wow.
You know, on the harp, yeah.
That's
boys
great.
And girls. So it's definitely making a comeback.
So how many different instruments are part of this show? You play too, and you, of course, you have your voice as an instrument too. And you said that everybody plays multiple instruments. So about how many? Tell us.
Oh, God, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 or 11 instruments maybe on stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so this is a really high energy show, right?
It is.
So how would you describe it for somebody who has never been before?
Well, I think the mistake that's made a lot of the time when people see our show promoted is they associate it with other shows they've seen, like Riverdance, Lord of the Dance, all of these dance shows, you know, that have the Irish music in them. But ours is quite different in that it's mainly based around the music. So it's not necessarily a dance show. It's not just a music show, but he has you know, bits of both. It's very personable. Everything's live. Everything's different every night. You know, there's no two shows the same. And we talk to the audience. So it's kind of more like a band with a show production. You know,
right.
It's, as I said, much more personable. High energy mixed with the, you know, heart-wrenching ballads and slow airs and all that kind of thing. So we try to get the full spectrum in the short time that we have. And it's, you know, it's something we've been molding for 6 years now.
Right.
So I think we should be close. I don't know if we're exactly nailed it yet, but we're definitely we're feeling like our show at the moment is at its absolute best.
Well, it keeps getting better and better every year. That's for sure.
Well, hopefully, yes, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, huge energy. A big part of it is energy. You know, I even say this in the show. Irish music works off energy. You know.
Oh yeah.
So where in other cultures it might be rude to make noises while we're performing, it is absolutely acceptable. In fact, encouraged.
Well, and that's what we in Worcester love, is to be involved and to be loud.
Yes, and they're the places we love going to, you know, because people don't mind, you know, letting out a yelp in the middle of something, or, you know, a barnyard animal noise. It doesn't matter, whatever you're feeling, you know. It's just it's a way of showing appreciation, you know. And once we get that, it ups the show 100%. As I said, it's all live, so every show is different.
Now,
so
I know you say every show is different, but is there some key moment that you like to try and at least recreate, or a special piece that you like to play? Is there?
Oh, we play.
What's
the
your
same
favorite?
Pieces.
Yeah,
we play the same pieces, definitely. It's just that it's the energy from the audience that makes the show different. So you know, it'll either bring it to a certain level, and we could stay there, or if the audience are spectacular, we will match them. You know, we will come up there and be up there with them. So that's what makes it different. But definitely, yeah, the pieces are the same. I've loads of favourites.
You have loads of favourites.
I do, and moments, you know, in songs or in tunes as well. But out of the songs, it's hard to say. There's one that we have been just in the show the longest, and it might still be my favourite, which is crazy, but it's called "The Last of the Great Whales."
Oh.
And that one is probably still my favourite, because it's a real power. It's a really powerful song. It's not supposed to be pretty, you know. It's not about singing it with a pretty voice or sounding nice, or, you know. It's about sending that message across, and you get to really put your heart and soul into it, and not have any, you know, not hold back. And, you know, if something is a little bit pitchy or whatever, it doesn't matter. It just adds to it. You know, it's one of those kind of songs that you just get to pour your heart out into it. So that one's probably my favourite. But I mean, there's such variety in the show. Like, Michael plays these classics on the violin, and he is just incredible on the violin. Like, you know, every night we're all like, oh my God, he is just amazing. He comes from a classical background.
Of course. I have so much admiration for people who can play these different instruments, especially the violin and the harp. You know, they're very complicated.
Yeah. And what's even more admirable with Michael is to come from a classical background and still be able to play traditional Irish or folk. Mm-hmm. It's such a different talent. It's well, first of all, classical is all technical, and you read the music and everything. Irish music is all by ear. It's all feeling. It's all coming from inside. So it's so different to be able to move from this very strict form to something completely free. And he can do it, and that's rare. So he has all those very technical things and, spectacle things in the show that people just go, oh my God, he's amazing, And then we have like slow airs on the harp and the uilleann pipes and stuff. It's complete contrast, but it just seems to work all together.
Well, I cannot wait. If anybody wants to see what this show is all about, please visit our website, thehanovertheatre.org. We do have a preview right there if you go to the shows and listings and you click on Celtic Crossroads. We hope to see you there. Please join Lisa Canny on, what is that, March 30th? That's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Perfect
Saturday.
Come
along. Yeah, exactly. No excuse.
No excuse. It's going to be fabulous. And so, Lisa, thank you so much for your time today. Anything else you want to make sure our listeners know?
Not at all, no. Just bring your energy and loud voices.
Oh, we will. And we will be listening to that beautiful accent all night long.
There you go. Excellent.
All right. Well, you have a brilliant day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.